Small and medium-sized businesses are the backbone of our economy.
Welcome to the BackBone Small Business Podcast, where we share the stories of small business owners and the grit and determination it takes to run a small business. In the wake of COVID-19, the vast majority of small businesses have been affected in one way or another. We've been chatting with these people to learn what it is they're doing to keep afloat and stay alive as a small business. This episode, I have the pleasure of speaking with serial entrepreneur, philanthropist, and community leader Al Hasham of Maximum Express Courier and Maximum Furniture. Hey Al, how you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Dave. And thank you for doing this, Dave. It's really great that you're actually exploring and talking to businesses on how they're dealing with the epidemic that we're having right now.
Yeah, we started off, and this is, we do have some episodes in the edit process right now, and I just find it compelling and very fascinating to hear people like yourself and your story and what you're going through. And obviously COVID-19 just lit a fire. And so we decided to start and just get people's stories out there and see how things are going. And with you, you're an interesting business owner, because whenever I see your name, whenever I see your face, it seems to be associated with something you're doing within the community. And in particular, I received an email in my inbox from you about a petition that you would, or at least are part of, savesmallbusiness.ca. I believe that's the name of it. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. We're trying to do whatever we can in our community, but also trying to make sure that the small businesses that are the backbone of our community and our province and literally our nation have some help and have some support, whether it's locally or whether it's from the municipality or from the federal or provincial government and businesses. We all have to work together to survive this. You know, the norm right now, you will hear all the time, self-isolation. You have physical distancing, or call it social distancing. All of these terms have now become the norm. That's what we've been hearing for the last month. And I think it's not going away anytime soon. So we have to deal with it. And I think we have to work with one another with the support we get from our governments and our businesses to try and survive and get through this together.
So how is it, you're in your business with Max Courier? Correct me if I'm wrong, you're one of the businesses that potentially is doing more business or being called on by a more varied customer base. Is that correct?
It is correct. We're an essential business. And so when this came out and everybody was starting to panic and closing down, and I know a lot of businesses, a lot of our clients have closed down, but they went onto the online system where their stores and retail stores are all closed, but their warehouses are operating and they have limited staff in their warehouse. So they're packing everything and they've asked us to deliver, and we're helping them deliver whatever we can in the same and safe protocol that we're supposed to. So we have got a lot of business. Our staff that was not comfortable being out and about in the city, I was open and had that dialogue with them saying, if you're not comfortable, we'll support you. You can stay at home. So there's been about half a dozen people here and in our Vancouver office that decided to stay home. And then we've got other support from people that have reached out to us and say, hey, if you need a hand, we're here to help. We have a vehicle, we have a driver's license. We're more than happy to come and work for you and be out there as long as it's a safe environment. And that's exactly what we're doing, is making sure our drivers, our team, and our customers are all safe. So right now, you know, it's one of these drop, knock, and leave deliveries that we do. So there's no physical contact with anybody. There is literally a lot of social or physical distancing with everybody that's out there. Our drivers are wearing masks, gloves, sanitizing on a regular basis, and they're feeling comfortable, but they're actually feeling a part of helping the community. So that part of my business, the express part of the business, is actually still doing about the same of what it was doing, just different kind of deliveries. Well, Max Furniture, on the other hand, I had to let go 2 staff. I still have 2 staff in the store. We actually expanded in February where we have a 9,000 square foot showroom. So now we expanded. A month later, we have this epidemic that's come out. So I have to lay off a couple of people. I have to think about how I'm going to do this, and an innovative way of doing it where I had salespeople, the 2 that I have now become sales consultants. So they're taking orders over the phone, by FaceTime, by video conferencing, anything that anybody needs. They can either make an appointment to come in the store, so it's one-on-one basis with the distance, of course, and then they're trying to, since people are at home, they're shopping from home. They want to talk to somebody and get some ideas. And so now we've started to do that. We had to restrict the hours at our store, so we're only open a few hours by appointment, but more people are phoning our designers, our sales staff who have now become consultants and getting ideas on how they can improve, whether it's a home office, whether it's a commercial property, whether it's a hotel that is now nobody's there now, they need to redo their rooms, so we're helping them with that. So it's just brought a very different way of doing business.
Right. So you've been able to take your business model for the furniture store and pivot so that you're able to take more online, more over the phone type consultations, but you're also, with the courier side of things, able to support businesses that are still open, or they themselves have had to pivot to do more deliveries, where it would have been more of a bricks and mortar. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out over time. I mean, I'm not a doctor, a scientist. I don't pretend to be, but anything longer than a few months, it's going to be interesting to see if these are permanent changes to business models, where in fact bricks and mortar stores get rolled back, and mom and pop shops are more using companies like yourself to help as the go-between to get to their customers.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the norm that we've had, I mean, we've had the last 5 years or so, we've had a booming economy. Everybody has been out there making money. We couldn't even find staff when we wanted to find staff, as you know, that it was a demand to try and hire people. This has really changed on how you think about it. And when we thought a couple of weeks ago when this started that this was only going to last a couple of weeks or a month, that's not the case. In fact, I think all of us should accept this is now the norm. Moving forward, if we have accepted this is the norm and prepare ourselves moving forward, that it's going to take a while to come back to where we were before. We may never ever get to where we were 6 months ago. But I think if we work together and think about this is the norm and work towards that, do business differently, work with people differently, whether it's online, whether it's through virtual meetings, virtual orders. I think that is the norm for at least the next 6 months.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, certainly that this is here to stay for a while. I'm optimistic that there will be doctors that will be coming out, the healthcare professionals coming out and discovering ways that we can begin to interact with one another in a safe manner. And once that does happen, when whatever appropriate time that elapses, that we'll be able to get some sort of semblance of normal. But it's not going to be, living in a tourist town, it's not going to be all of a sudden the hotels are going to be immediately booked overnight. It's going to take time to ramp back up to that, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. It's totally going to take time to ramp up to it, especially being in Victoria and a tourist town like you mentioned. It will take the time. But I think if we as a community support our hospitality industry, whether it's hotels, restaurants, bars, and we make it so that when it is safe, let me clarify that, when it is safe for us to go out again and support the restaurant industry, the hospitality industry, the hotels, if we can give back to them and buy gift cards, or whether to go spend a night in town. We've done that already. So many times we do that at stay vacations that we do in town. If we continue to do that over the next year, I think all of us will survive. All of us will thrive because it's a trickling effect.
Well, I like that you've mentioned the positive, and there is one thing that I did want to touch on before I let you go, and I read the newspaper article front page this morning about your company, Maximum Express, helping with one of the local distilleries. I believe it's Victoria Distillery, dispensing, delivering hand sanitizer to those in need, first responders, people that are on the front lines in terms of hospitals and that kind of thing. Can you explain what happened there? I think it was a great story.
Yeah, you know what? The president, Peter Hunt, I've known him for years. In fact, when he was in school going to UWic, he used to be a server or bartender at Swan's. That's how I met him. And we off and on stayed in touch. Along the way now, he does this. And I read an article online last week that he, together with the company locally, are creating this hand sanitizer where there's such a big demand. As you know, everybody's like either bought them, hoarding them, keeping a lot of it, where a lot of first responders, hospitals, anybody that is in the medical field has a hard time getting them. And they're actually trying to produce this. So I reached out to Peter. I said, hey, this is great that you're doing this. If I can help distributing this at no cost to you or to anybody, we want to be there to help you. He goes, for real? I said, yes. He goes, you're on. So we're starting to pick up from there and distribute to all the first responders, the hospitals, anybody in the medical field that needs it, we will do it. We've actually set up an account at our express business that's called COVID support, where anybody that cannot afford to go out and pick up their prescription, any medical equipment that they need, we're here to help them get it to them at no cost to them. So we want to make sure that people that are in need, whether it's the first responders, the hospitals, the doctors, I want them to reach out to us and say, we need something, can you get it to us? And we will make sure that we get it to them in a timely manner.
That's fabulous. I mean, you're really, as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, you're leading by example, which is what we hear consistently whenever we speak to anybody that's a small business owner, from gym owners to bakery owners. You definitely are leading by example, and I appreciate it as a member of your community, of our community. I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you, Dave. You know what? We're all in it together, locally, provincially, nationally, globally. We're in it together, and we'll all get out together. If we work together, help one another, and support one another, we will make it through this together.
I agree with you. Thank you very much. It's all about creative solutions and ultimately having the backbone to flip the switch and say, go on those solutions. Maybe like starting a new business, like a podcast. And,
like you said, it's the backbone. It's the backbone of our country and our province and our community. Small businesses are the backbone of doing everything, keeping it vibrant, keeping our economy going. We've done it before. We've been through recessions. We're going to get through this, and we'll be up again together with everybody, and we'll be working together.
On that note, thank you very much, Al. I appreciate your time today. Take care.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.